Hey guys, Czar here. Good morning to you. Hope all is well. We're 15 seconds away from the open. It's Jan 31st, last day of Jan. Tomorrow's February. Can you believe that? Wow, time flies. All right, watching the three sisters on the daily here. We had a big drop overnight on earnings and stuff on the NASDAQ. You see that there? And pullback here today as well. And last night on the S&P, Dow was remaining very strong. Looks like we're going to try to hit even new highs again today. We'll see. Let's see what happens on the actual open here. Those are the daily charts. This is the 30-minute prior day's high and prior day's low. NASDAQ, of course, below both of those. So is the S&P, but the Dow is above yesterday's high. So we got a mixed bag here already before we even get going and digging into the lower time frames. And so, although the 30-minute is pretty low time frame in itself, there's the 1 minute. Look too closely at this until we get some more data in the New York session here. We are open now, guys. There's the first 1 minute candle right there. We'll watch this stuff together. All right, guys, now we're watching. You can see we're dropping a little bit here on the NASDAQ and the S&P and the Dow actually below the opening range there. Just got a little distracted by something, but we're coming back. Here we go. This is the 2 minute chart. I'm going to move over to the 1 minute. You'll see the 1 minute open range has been set for the day there, guys. On the NASDAQ, we are in the middle of a range on the 30-minute time frame down here in the bottom left-hand side. The top left is the daily. All right, here we go, guys. We're in the lower end of the range here on the 30-minute zone chart right there. And then the Dow. Kind of mid-range of this whole Asia and European range that you see here, measured by this zone marker and that zone marker there, dropping down below the open and below prior day's high, coming back into range. S&P. I'll be cutting out dead air, guys. Sideways grinding action, non-teaching moments, editing this video so that it is nice and tight. I used to kind of film everything here, and these videos would get awfully long. Yesterday I was in a trade for 5 hours, and I don't think you want to see a 5-hour video. That's one of the longest in many, many months, though. But I've been in many trades lately, certainly 2 hours and more, some 3, and a couple that were 4 hours long. So just come in here and talk about what's relevant, what's pertinent. That the feedback has been that is the preferred way, and that's the way I'm happy to do it. All right, guys, still in the 1 minute open range here on the S&P. I'm watching the three sisters on a different monitor. Let me just show that to you now. There we go. Coming above now on the NASDAQ. Trying to break above on the S&P and back into open range on the Dow. Watching for some synergies here between these, of course. We are above now on these two. Still looking like we want to pull back a little bit on the Dow. Kind of flipping the script here a little bit since the Dow has been the one that's been so strong. All right, guys, S&P. S&P right here, guys. Selling. Sell stop right there. Stop above the high of the day. See that there? I'll be right back to fix these markers. This is what I'm looking at. Give me one moment. And I'm in, guys. And I'm in. Just moving my brackets on my own platform. There it is. First trade of the day, guys. Selling the S&P into weakness here. There we go. Short the S&P. The primary target here, guys, is 1R. Show you what that looks like right here. There's 1R right there, and the secondary and third target are 1.5 and 2R. To see how those models perform as well. But this is my primary target. Short the S&P, guys, into weakness. daily is a blue body hitting new lows, have already broke, of course, below the prior day's low on the S&P. Let me show you the three. NASDAQ is bearish, S&P bearish, and Dow is bullish. It's doing its own thing, and I think earnings are playing a very big part in that. But you'll see here on the 30-minute chart, bearish daily below prior day's low and high, of course. Same thing on the NASDAQ. And Dow just kind of holding steady here, so not really doing too much damage to this trade idea. It's kind of just grinding on the 30 at least. You'll see a little bit more action. Now pulling down on the Dow. That will be constructive for this trade. Let's see if we can continue down here. I'll put you on pause, guys. Bring you back as this thing materializes. And target 1 has been hit, so the 1R all or nothing trader has left the game with full profitability. And of course, the 2R move stop to break even at 1R has now moved their stop to break even because we hit 1R. So they will either get 2R or break even and nothing in between. And now we'll wait and see if the 1.5 and 2R models can reach profitability as well. But this is a profitable trade. This is a trend continuation trade, guys, with a zone break field, of course. This was a zone that was created in the European session. And you can see we have the break of the daily prior day's low, a bearish move. This is the first day that we've broken a low of a candle in, I believe, 9 sessions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the 10th day breaking the low of the candle. That is a bearish move, even though the EMAs on the daily, of course, are bullish. So bearish daily, bearish 30-minute, 9 below the 21, impulse, corrective, lower low, tapping into a zone here, of course, from the crossover between Asia and Europe. This is 3 a.m. New York time, right? And then dropping below, breaking below the session. We came into the New York session, waited for some synchronicity amongst the three sisters. There was actually a divergence at that time, breaking above the 1 minute open range, pulling down, rejecting on the bottom of the 1 minute open range, and then breaking below. This is breaking below the session low and below the pre-market low right there. And then this is the most immediate pre-market low, of course, and now dropping down. Getting a bit of a rejection here. We'll see if we can get this thing to go any lower. But for now, the primary target has been reached. I'll bring you back and we'll continue to talk about this. Now, this is, of course, understandable that we're rejecting here. This is a zone that goes back to here. This is 2 days ago. This is Monday, Jan 29th, right? Significant support here in the European session. And then again, key support where we rocketed from in the New York session. It just makes perfect sense that we would in fact be rejecting here for now. This could just be a pause and come on down lower. In the meantime, guys, let me also show you the three sisters so you can see what that looks like as well. See that there? NASDAQ weakness continues, confirmed right below the open range. Here, of course, is the S&P, the one that we're in, and the Dow had also capitulated and is also below the open range. We have synchronicity now in the three indices in that they are all making bearish moves. They are all below EMAs. The 9 is below the 21 on all three. Dow just pulled up above the EMAs for now. Really trying to buck the trend here, guys. But again, below a prior day's high, not prior day's low, which is way down here. We'll see what happens with the Dow, but really watching these two here. This is where the significant crossover is in terms of holdings as well, too, between the S&P and the NASDAQ, not so much with the Dow. All right, I will put you on pause and we'll come back. And target 2 has been hit, so the 1.5R all or nothing trader has left the game with full profitability as well. And now we will sit and wait to see if we can drop all the way down here to the next zone so that the 2R all or nothing trader can also benefit fully. We'll see what happens here, guys. So far, so good. This bearish move continues. And there it is, guys. All 4 models fully profitable. Nice clean trade. We never even came and closed back above the EMAs and never squeezed and crossed. So again, guys, trend continuation trade here, right? I think I discussed this in pretty good detail right at the very beginning, but daily breaking for the first time in 9 days. That is a bearish move all the way back to the 9 EMA on the daily. We've had a bearish configuration in the EMAs all evening, all night, and overnight. Asia, Europe, and of course now in the New York session as well. Breaking zones like there's no tomorrow. I'm overstating it just a little bit, but you get the idea. This is clearly a bearish configuration. I will take you back to the Three Sisters to show you the synchronicity that we had there. My entry is here on the S&P, which is the middle one. NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow. My entry was right here. Now look at the cursor on the other charts. You'll see the equivalent on the NASDAQ, right? So I'm right back over here, breaking below the open range. The Dow was breaking back into the open range at that point. See the cursor there? So failing here at the 2.5 standard deviation, breaking back in, and that was enough alignment and congruency amongst the Three Sisters to get me to flip the coin here on already a very bearish overnight on the S&P in particular, and of course the NASDAQ as well. That's all, guys. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Have an amazing afternoon. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.